Scorpio, deep-hearted soul, these final days of May carry something far deeper than ordinary time. May 24th and 25th, 2026, feel like a quiet opening beneath the surface of your life, as though something hidden for a long time is finally beginning to rise. 3 blessings are already moving toward you now: emotional renewal, aligned abundance, and a kind of peace that reaches the places inside you that have stayed tense for far too long. This video is not only encouragement, it is confirmation. What if the slow seasons, the hidden battles, and the silent moments when nothing seemed to change were never signs that life forgot you? What if those quiet stretches were preparing you for this exact threshold? Finding this message now is not random. Something deeper has been aligning beneath everything you've been carrying. If your intuition has been whispering that change is closer than it appears, trust it. Because this goes beyond astrology or signs in the sky. This is about your life finally unfolding with emotional clarity instead of constant survival. The energy around May 24th and 25th carries a stillness that feels powerful without needing attention. You are no longer being asked to chase what drains you. This moment is asking something softer from you. It is asking you to receive, to recognize that life is finally opening instead of resisting. Maybe you have already noticed it quietly, in the deeper rhythm of your breathing, or the sudden urge to clear emotional and physical space around you. That calm inside you is not meaningless. It is the emotional tide beginning to shift after a long season of carrying everything alone. And Scorpio, while some blessings may appear through opportunity, support, or financial relief, what they truly bring is inner realignment. They reconnect you with the version of yourself slowly returning beneath the exhaustion. This is not balance for appearance alone. It is the restoration of something essential inside you. The energy arriving now does not force its way into your life. It moves quietly, like still water settling after a storm, steady and undeniable. As Psalm 37:4 reminds us, "Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart." Right now, that truth feels alive inside every layer of what you are becoming. Before we go further, take one slow breath with me. Thank you for being here and sharing your energy in this space. Every comment, every like, every moment of connection sends that energy outward and helps this message reach exactly where it is meant to land. And Scorpio, what is unfolding next carries real meaning for the season your life is entering. So let this moment settle into you fully. If something in this message already feels familiar deep in your chest, anchor it now. Write it in the comments and say it aloud for yourself. You can say, "I am ready to receive the transformation meant for me on May 24th and 25th, 2026. Or, "I welcome emotional clarity, aligned abundance, and peaceful transformation." When you do that, you are not simply interacting with the video, you are saying yes to the life already beginning to move toward you. Stay with me through this message, because what opens next may be exactly what your spirit has quietly been waiting for. After carrying everything silently for so long, the heart sometimes forgets that waiting was never punishment. It was preparation beneath the surface. And now, Scorpio, something inside you is finally ready to rise. You are no longer standing near the life meant for you. You are at the edge of it now. May 24th and 25th are not simply dates. They feel like an emotional threshold leading you toward restoration that has been building quietly for longer than you realize. This energy does not arrive through chaos or force. It arrives softly, like deep water calming after a storm. That is often what healing feels like when you stop fighting yourself long enough to let peace enter fully. The universe no longer needs proof of your worth. It already knows how many times you kept going when nobody else could see it. And because of that, the card of truth arrives now not to challenge you, but to recognize everything you carried beneath the surface. It feels like life itself whispering, "You were never invisible." Every hidden effort, Every silent prayer, every private moment of survival mattered more than you realized. What has been growing quietly inside you is no longer meant to stay buried. For Scorpio, this restoration reaches especially deep because your spirit was never meant for shallow living. When your emotional center stays unsettled too long, it feels like part of your inner world has drifted away from itself. That is why this moment matters so much. For the first time in what may feel like years, something inside you is becoming steady again. Not because you forced life into place, but because grace slowly found its way back to you while you were learning how to endure. What once seemed lost was quietly reshaping itself beneath the surface, becoming wiser and more aligned with who you have become. Sometimes life opens when you finally stop gripping so tightly and begin trusting what is unfolding. So if you have felt drawn toward quiet lately, towards slower mornings, deeper breaths, or stepping away from unnecessary noise, do not ignore that instinct. Your spirit recognizes when something new is preparing to enter your life. Peace is not the absence of progress. Sometimes it is the clearest sign that alignment has finally reached your nervous system. What is moving toward you now is not arriving because you exhausted yourself chasing it. It is arriving because you finally became open enough to receive it without fear. You did not soften because you gave up. You softened because you began understanding the wisdom hidden inside, waiting. Maybe there were nights when you carried hope silently, without knowing how to explain what you were feeling. Maybe your prayers stayed hidden inside your chest where nobody else could hear them. Still, you were never abandoned in those moments. You were never walking through them alone. So if your heart feels softer lately, trust that softness instead of fearing it. You are no longer being asked to live in constant survival mode. You are entering a season of receiving, and the strongest thing you can do now is stop resisting what is trying to reach you. Blessings do not always arrive loudly. Sometimes they move quietly into your life with perfect timing, at the exact pace your spirit is prepared to hold. Scorpio, around May 24th and 25th, you may begin noticing that what once required struggle now begins finding its way toward you naturally. Opportunities, support, emotional relief, and clarity may arrive without force or exhaustion. And what approaches now is not just one blessing, but 3 meaningful openings touching different parts of your life. In career and purpose, something important is beginning to take shape. You no longer need to overextend yourself to be noticed or valued. The right opportunity will feel strangely natural the moment it arrives. It will not ask you to become someone smaller or louder to fit inside it. Instead, it will settle into your life with the familiarity of something your spirit already recognizes before your mind fully understands why. This is not about settling, it is about resonance replacing struggle. And just as meaningful as the outer blessings arriving now is the quiet return of inner calm. You may notice yourself wanting less noise, protecting your peace more carefully, or pulling away from constant stimulation. That is not avoidance, it is restoration unfolding through your body in real time. Your breathing, your emotions, and even the tension you once carried automatically may begin settling into a gentler rhythm. This shift matters more than you realize. Your system is learning how to hold safety again instead of bracing for the next storm. Sometimes the most transformative thing you can do is remain still long enough to hear what your soul has been trying to tell you beneath all the noise. And close behind that emotional calm, abundance begins finding its way toward you. It may arrive through unexpected support, delayed opportunities finally resolving, or resources appearing exactly when needed. These moments are not random. They are reflections of the energy you continued investing quietly, even when nothing seemed to move. You planted trust in unseen places for a long time, and now the harvest is beginning to rise. But the most meaningful part is not only the blessings themselves, it is the version of you receiving them now, no longer from desperation or exhaustion, but from grounded trust. That changes everything. We live in a world addicted to urgency and proving. But what if your softness carries its own kind of magnetic power? What if peace, not pressure, is finally what allows the right things to reach you? Maybe abundance is not only about achievement. Maybe true wealth is receiving what you desire without abandoning yourself in the process. So if something unexpected enters your life this week, an invitation, an opportunity or support arriving from nowhere, pause before questioning whether you deserve it. You do. All you are being asked to do now is receive with openness and clarity. Not every miracle arrives loudly. Some move quietly beneath the surface first, waiting for your spirit to believe in them again. And now that something inside you finally does, Scorpio, life is beginning to respond differently. Not because you forced it into motion, but because you stopped fighting the deeper truth within yourself. There are moments when someone enters your life, or perhaps returns after a long distance, and before your thoughts can explain it, your spirit already recognizes the feeling. This is not only about logic, it is about emotional recognition that reaches deeper than words. Your soul was never built for shallow connection. You are drawn toward bonds carrying honesty, depth, and emotional permanence. And the connection approaching now goes beyond attraction. It carries the feeling of being understood in places you once kept hidden from everyone else. As the energy around May 24th and 25th continues unfolding, someone may enter your world carrying a reflection of something deeply familiar to your spirit. It could be someone from your past, returning with different energy between you now, not because they transformed overnight, but because you did. Your worth has become steadier than before, and the emptiness you once carried has slowly turned into emotional ground strong enough to stand on. That changes the kind of connection you attract. The bond forming now is no longer built from wounds or fear. It grows through emotional honesty, mutual growth, and timing that feels strangely natural. And this person may not arrive in the form you expect. It could be a mentor, a collaborator, or simply someone whose presence feels quietly aligned with your journey the moment they step into your life. If that moment arrives, do not dismiss it or convince yourself it means nothing. Life rarely moves through loud spectacle the way people expect. More often, it moves through quiet alignment, through encounters that feel strangely familiar before they fully make sense. And when you stop carrying yourself like someone waiting to be hurt, you begin attracting people who feel safe to stand beside. Once your spirit softens enough to rest instead of constantly protecting itself, different kinds of connections begin entering your world. These are not people who overpower your energy or pull you away from yourself. They meet you where you truly are, beside you, with a presence that feels steady rather than consuming. Astrologically, soul-aligned connections often appear beneath the influence of Venus, Neptune, or the North Node, each carrying a quiet pull toward encounters that feel meaningful long before logic can explain them. I will not pretend to name every exact transit surrounding May 24th and 25th, but if someone enters your thoughts and something inside your chest softens instead of tightening, pay attention to that feeling. And if someone from your past crosses your path again and your spirit leans toward the connection rather than retreating from it, trust yourself enough to notice why. Deep connection rarely arrives through certainty or perfect explanations. More often, it enters quietly through instinct, recognition, or the calm feeling of finally being understood without needing to over-explain yourself. But this person is not entering your life to save you. That chapter is already behind you. You have already fought your way back to yourself in ways most people never fully saw. What you are ready for now is reflection instead of rescue. A connection that reveals how much you have healed rather than reopening old wounds. Real emotional strength is not losing yourself inside someone else's intensity. It is standing beside another strong presence while remaining connected to who you are. And that is the emotional space you are stepping into now. A steadier kind of love that supports your spirit without swallowing it whole. So if part of you has been wondering whether you are meant to continue this next chapter alone, this may be the answer beginning to unfold. But even deeper than the possibility of someone arriving is the truth that you are finally ready to meet them differently. Not through fear or emotional armor, but as your real self, open and emotionally awake. If someone from long ago begins appearing in your dreams, if a name keeps resurfacing, or if a stranger awakens something inside you that reaches beyond simple attraction, pause before trying to label it too quickly. Let yourself feel what is there without forcing certainty onto it. Sometimes a connection arrives as a mirror, quietly revealing how much transformation has already taken place within you. Some energies move through quietly and disappear before you fully notice them. Others carry a depth that stops you completely, as though your spirit recognizes them before your mind catches up. Scorpio, that is the kind of emotional energy surrounding you now. It moves through you with gravity instead of urgency, asking for awareness rather than force. The energy around May 24th and 25th carries themes of intuition, emotional awakening, and personal alignment. It feels less like a repeating cycle and more like a doorway opening inward. This moment is not asking you to push harder or prove yourself through exhaustion. It is asking whether you are truly ready to participate in the life you keep saying you want. And readiness is not measured by ambition alone, it is measured by emotional capacity. Can you hold what arrives without fear pulling you backward? Can you receive something meaningful without immediately questioning whether it will disappear? Because abundance is not only about gaining more, it is also about learning how to care for what finally stays. If you have felt possibility moving quietly around you but hesitated to claim it fully, this may be your invitation to stop holding yourself back. Life is not asking you to chase until you collapse. It is asking you to root yourself emotionally and rise from that place instead. That is why rituals feel meaningful during seasons like this, not because they are dramatic, but because they help give shape to emotions that remained unspoken for too long. Sitting down with a pen and allowing your hidden thoughts to surface becomes more than reflection. It becomes release. When you write down what no longer belongs inside you, old pain, fears you carried for years, versions of yourself built only for survival, you begin telling your spirit that space is finally opening for something new. And what surfaces may surprise you. A resentment buried so deeply you stop noticing it. A belief about love, trust, or safety that quietly shaped your choices without your awareness. Let it rise gently, not so you can relive every wound again, but so you can finally place it down with honesty and grace. This moment is not asking you to reject your past. It is asking you to transform your relationship with it. You are not throwing away what you've lived through. You are allowing those experiences to become wisdom, strength, and emotional clarity for the version of you now beginning to emerge. Even the pain carried purpose, even when you could not see it while you were surviving it. And when you feel ready, take the words you have written and offer them gently to flame. Watch the paper curl as the smoke rises, carrying what no longer belongs inside you. Let the fire witness your release. Let every burden and hidden grief return not as shame, but as transformation. This is not punishment, it is return. A quiet acknowledgement that you have carried enough for long enough, and that your inner world deserves room to breathe again. You do not need permission to begin this shift. You are the one choosing it now. You are the one saying, "I'm ready." Not because someone approved of your healing, but because your body already feels the change before your mind fully understands it. Your breathing has softened. Your thoughts no longer feel as sharp. What once seemed distant is beginning to feel real enough to touch. Even small rituals can become part of this process. Violet has long been connected to intuition and inner vision. If you feel drawn toward it, light a violet candle or keep that color close in some intentional way. It does not need to look dramatic to matter. What matters is presence. What matters is your willingness to sit honestly with yourself and speak from somewhere real inside your heart. Because your heart carries more than emotion, it carries instinct, memory, energy, and truth. And when you speak from that place sincerely, something begins shifting beneath the surface of your life. You are no longer asking for change from desperation. You are moving from clarity and emotional readiness. So when you say, "I choose peace," "I choose aligned success," "I choose abundance that honors who I truly am," those words become more than hope. They become intention rooted inside you. That is how real transformation begins. Not through force, but through quiet breath, emotional honesty, and trusting your own timing. And when the noise around you quiets, something ancient inside you begins responding again. Whether you call it intuition, instinct, or spirit, it awakens when you stop drowning it out. Once you begin moving from that calmer, inner place, life starts responding differently around you. You do not need to control every outcome. You only need to meet the moment halfway. Scorpio, the energy around May 24th and 25th carries a lesson in learning how to hold what matters without fear rushing you forward. Receiving is not passive, it is participation. You are no longer here to beg life for proof of your worth. You are here to embody your value fully. You have already done so much work quietly. You survived seasons most people never fully understood. So the question is no longer whether life is going to change. The real question is whether you are ready to receive what has already started moving toward you. And if you listen closely, the answer will not arrive through overthinking. It will rise through your body instead, through steadier breathing and the softness replacing old tension. Somewhere deep inside, you already know the doorway was never locked against you. Your worth was never measured by how hard you struggled. It lives in your presence, your honesty, and your willingness to remain connected to yourself. The layers falling away now are not destroying you. They are revealing who you were before fear taught you to question your value. This season of your life is not being shaped by outer chaos. It is being shaped by inner awakening. You are no longer reacting from survival mode. You are responding with greater clarity and self-awareness. Real strength comes from knowing how to return to yourself no matter what happens. You no longer need to explain your growth to people who cannot fully see it. Alignment does not perform for attention. It exists quietly in the way you protect your peace and stop abandoning your truth for acceptance. And Scorpio, you are finally beginning to live from that place now. So take this moment seriously, light the candle, release the paper, speak honestly to yourself, and feel what readiness actually feels like inside your body. The emotional space within you is opening again. Life is not waiting for your perfection before it responds. It is waiting for your participation. You earned this shift through every quiet moment when you kept going, even when no one recognized how difficult it truly was. This is what integration means, not simply understanding the lesson, but becoming different because of it. You are no longer only imagining another life. You are preparing yourself to live differently now. And preparation is not passive. It looks like protecting your peace, creating boundaries, saying yes to what nourishes you, and learning to say no without guilt. That is self-trust returning after years of doubting yourself. Sometimes the greatest transformation is not what changes outside you. It is the fact that you no longer betray yourself in order to receive it. And if you have spent years waiting for relief, permission, or life to soften, this may be the turning point you have been moving toward all along. This is not simply a reward for surviving difficult seasons. It is the reflection of your resilience and every emotional seed you planted when nothing around you seemed ready to grow. And now the change you once imagined far ahead is beginning to rise within you instead. So let this become the moment you stop asking whether you are allowed to move forward. Let it become the moment you say clearly, "I am ready." Because the person you are becoming did not appear by accident. This version of you was shaped through every heartbreak, every release, and every moment you kept healing quietly. Scorpio, if you have stayed with this message until now, pause and feel what is already shifting inside you. Most meaningful transformations begin quietly, the moment something inside you finally whispers yes before fear interrupts it. And maybe that quiet yes is rising inside you now. Maybe the clarity you have been searching for was never somewhere outside yourself. Maybe it has been waking slowly inside your chest all along. What if every closed door and every delay were never rejection at all? What if those pauses were preparing you for the life now beginning to open in front of you? And what if May 24th and 25th, 2026 are not simply dates, but an emotional threshold guiding you toward deeper peace, alignment, and trust within yourself? You have done far more than survive. You have transformed from the inside outward. You have released old fears, stepped into unfamiliar emotional territory, and grown in ways most people will never fully understand. That is real growth. Quiet, but life-changing. And now all the trust you carried through uncertain seasons is returning differently. It is becoming timing. It is becoming clarity. It is becoming 3 meaningful blessings your spirit is finally ready to receive. What opportunities have been waiting while you questioned your readiness? And what would happen if you stopped delaying your own becoming and simply said, "I'm ready"? Because life is not asking for perfection, it is asking for your willingness. You do not need to be fearless to enter this next chapter. You only need to remain open enough to receive what is already moving toward you. And if something in this message stirred something real inside you, let that feeling matter. Speak it aloud. Anchor yourself into it. You can say, "I am ready to receive the transformation meant for me on May 24th and 25th, 2026. Or, "I welcome emotional clarity, aligned abundance, and the life unfolding toward me." These are not empty affirmations. They are intentions rooted deeply within your spirit. And when spoken with honesty and belief, they begin shifting the energy around you in ways often felt before they are fully seen. Thank you for being here and sharing your energy in this space. This is not only about messages, it is about remembering yourself again. It is about recognizing who you have always been beneath the fear and emotional armor you once needed to survive. So if this message reached somewhere deeper inside you today, do not rush away from that feeling. Let it settle into you. The energy is already shifting, the alignment is already unfolding, the doorway is already beginning to open.